When I was younger, many of my friends would receive money for their grades from their parents and various relatives. At the time, it seemed like a good idea, but now I realize it would hurt me more in the long run. In an article entitled "Cash for Grades" by Mary Ellen Flannery, it is shown that in a recent national poll, 1 in 4 Americans believe that students should be paid for their grades. However, most Americans and many educators feel that the idea is severely wrong and that rewarding kids for good grades is not a smart choice. Many schools all over the country are beginning to address the debate on whether or not it is a smart choice to pay students for good grades. However, studies and research have shown that motivating kids to get good grades by offering them cash rewards may have a positive short-term effect, but will hurt them more in the long run. Paying students for grades sets them up for unrealistic expectations and difficulty with future careers and further schooling as adults. The problem with paying students from the time they are young for their hard work in school is that when they are older and have real jobs, they think that there is a correlation between hard work and higher pay. This is a setup for failure and disappointment. Kids used to getting paid for high achievements have to enter the real world after high school, and when they do, they experience shock and difficulty finding personal motivation to do the work needed to excel in college and occupations. Many people believe that just like an adult job has pay, it is a student's job to go to school, and therefore they should receive pay also. However, school and an education are the main ways for kids to prepare for real-world jobs. This preparation time should not be one where kids receive pay, but rather a time to prepare for the work field where they will have to have an actual job. Paying students for good grades hurts personal qualities that help them to excel. Experts have said that paying students for good grades decreases their overall performance, creativity, and motivation. According to the article, "Should Students Get Cash Rewards for Good Grades?" by Hital Gandhi, more than 3 decades ago, Stanford University did a study where they split preschoolers into 2 groups and asked them to draw the best picture that they could. One group was offered gold stars if they did a good job on their picture, and the other was not offered an incentive. Both came back with good results and great pictures from the preschoolers. Then they conducted the experiment a second time. However, neither group was offered an incentive. The time these children spent on their drawings this time was cut in half, and there was an extreme lack of creativity the second time. However, the group who had not been offered a reward either time did the same amount of work and effort. This experiment shows that providing motivation sometimes does not change the original outcome of a student's activity, but in the long run, it can significantly damage the student's learning abilities. Many educators and parents believe that paying students for good grades stops them from learning the responsibilities they have to their communities, their families, and to themselves. Not to mention that learning is also a sign of a child's personal growth and development. Motivators, such as money, can disrupt the actual results of a child's development in academics. Paying students for grades undermines the importance of education. Minors have the expectation to go to school. It is a law, and offering money to do so undermines this requirement in law. Kids need to attend school simply because they know education is a valuable thing, not just because they want to pocket a wad of cash. In an interview for the Cash for Grades article by Mary Ellen Flannery, University of Rochester's Professor Edward Becca told Time magazine that, quote, "What we really want is for people to value the activity of learning," close quote. Kids need to be proud of what they accomplish on their own. They do not need further stimulation to accomplish things, especially pertaining to education. Kids need to have passion simply for their schoolwork and not for a paycheck. In the article, Money Smart Kids by Janet Bodnar, one parent wrote in a letter to her that, quote, "We don't pay kids for mastering skills like learning to tie their shoes or riding a bike, nor should we pay them for learning to read," close quote. Overall, studies and results have shown that with encouragement and the right motivation, kids can excel in their academics without incentives like money. Education is a privilege and something that the young people of America need to learn to value. Good grades are the foundation and start for a bright future. That should be motivation enough for students to do well in their academics. As parents, I think it is important that students are not paid for their good grades. Parents need to instill in their children at an early age how important it is to get a good education and how enjoyable it can be if knowledge and good grades are something you work and strive for. Students also need to find self-motivation and realize that to ensure great futures, we have to take action today. Education is a privilege and no incentive is more worth it than a bright future. Thank you for your time.